Oh my goodness. The Cubs stay hot, and we're here to talk about it right now.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Please support the show by following on your preferred audio platform, and you can watch, subscribe, and leave a comment on YouTube. It's quite plausible that we will reach 5,000 subscribers during this episode. Thanks so much for making us your first listen. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Wow, what a joy to be with you this evening. If you're with us live, shout out to the audio peeps and YouTube viewers after the fact. But just a cool opportunity as the Cubs, with a huge win over the Reds, to take 3 of 4 in the series. Cubs improved to 56 and 53 on the season. They're 2.5 games back of first place in the NL Central and 2 games back of the third wild card spot. Sam, they lost the series opener Monday, crushed them 2 days in a row, and then win a close one Thursday as the Northsiders continued to build upon this fantastic resurgence.
This was, well, you know me, Matt, and our listeners know me at this point. You know, this was my favorite win of the week.
Right.
I said it. I said it for today's show. This team is going to go as far as they can go, depending on how many of these types of games they can win. They've proven all year that they are as good as anybody in baseball, including the team that's coming to town this weekend and putting up 10, 11, 12 runs. Where they have faltered is in tight games for the most part. And tonight was spectacular. Before I get into the details of the game, I want to just start out with a little bit. You know, when the Cubs are playing well, you know this, Matt. Close people in our lives know this. You know, it gets sentimental when the Cubs are good. It's just different, right? It's a different type of vibe. You said it when you're at the ball game last night. You get emotional.
I almost cried last night at the park.
I just love sports because it's such a great metaphor for life. And seeing Jameson Taillon, I know he wasn't spectacular tonight, but the way he owned his struggles early in the year, he never shied away from it. And he took full accountability. And the Cubs have won his last 5-6 starts that he's pitched in. And even though his numbers aren't going to wow you tonight, you know, he had the best outing of anybody for the Cubs this week. That is a tough team to pitch against. It's tough weather. It's challenging. And he fought his tail off tonight, got out of multiple jams, and without his resurgence, without him fighting through just what was a miserable first half of the season, they wouldn't be here right now. He's the hottest pitcher on the team, and I love redemption. I love perseverance, and that's why I love sports. As far as the rest of the game goes, we'll talk about some of the runs, but man, was that bullpen nasty tonight. Leiter Jr. came in right on left, Votto, right on left, Benson. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Good night.
And then he saw, this De La Cruz, who's everybody's second coming of Willie Mays. And
are they going to build him the statue at Great American, or are they going to wait?
And he put De La Cruz down quickly, and then he embarrassed the contact hitting Friedel. I mean, he was magnificent tonight, man. And you can't understate how good this guy's been this year. This is a guy that really lost his job. And then Merriweather, who was an afterthought, he gave up the solo homer to Steer. He missed a bunch of bats. And then 4 outs from Mr. Big Time. Bright lights. That's my nickname for him. Bright Lights Adberg.
That's good.
When the lights are bright, he likes to pitch. He doesn't like to pitch when the team's up 7 or 8. He's not a starter. He's made for those stupid LED lights. That's what he's made for. And he was awesome tonight. And that was really the story.
Yeah, it was. And Taillon now, despite allowing a leadoff double in the 6th, went 5+, 7 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. First 3 innings, he really labored, had a clean 4th and 5th, and then was out of there after that first hitter, like I mentioned. Cubs offensively tonight, they did enough, and nice insurance there towards the end. They accepted their walks, especially in the third inning. That led to 3 runs, certainly. And Alzolay, I think, could be a star closer, Sam.
Sure.
He has not only the pedigree and the stuff to do it, but I think the moxie, the intuition, the approach.
Closers have to be a little odd.
He got the final 4 outs of the game, and I was like, yep, he should. Let's go.
Yep.
All these outs are precious. And the third inning, the last inning, all 3 batters, it was almost in the blink of an eye. Yep. And I have to tell you, after being at the game Wednesday night, it really is an emotional experience with this team right now. Mm-hmm. We've gotten on this ride, and this what makes the show so exciting a night like this. Despite me being from an undisclosed location, of course, but it's an electric atmosphere at Wrigley right now. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, fantastic crowd. Not a seat to be had last night and tonight, Thursday night. And it's just really exciting stuff right now.
And I think we've broken our record
already.
For live views.
Yeah,
we're 470 right now.
Yeah.
Have we ever hit that?
470 plus with us right now. If it's your first time, welcome.
Welcome and enjoy the ride, because it's going to be a hell of a 2 months.
And shout out to the everydayers who were with us through thick and thin. Because I gotta say this as well. It is a talk show after all.
Your voice is a little hoarse. Is that from last night's affair?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
In my mind, the Cubs, if it wasn't for the Braves, who they're going to play this weekend, are the biggest story in baseball.
Yeah.
They were 26-36 on June 9th and 43-50 on July 18th.
Yeah.
You could say the turning point was on July 18th, when they were down 3-0 to the Nationals. They score 17, which is crazy, because that was also the day I got engaged.
Oh, whoa!
So just a huge day, a turning point in the Cubs season, and huge life news.
Yeah, wow, you're just dropping news on people. I was just going to go back into talking about the approach in the third.
I was going to slip that in maybe next week's episode, but I thought I'd get it in now.
A lot of people are like seriously concerned about where you're doing the show from. I won't release it, but he's fine, folks. He still has his plays. Anyway,
yeah, I'm doing okay.
Anyway,
but they're making a legitimate playoff push, and despite it all, it's just been a joy to see.
Yeah, and let's just break down that third inning, because I know, you're not a fan. No, nobody's a fan of called thirds. But this team has a very good happy medium. They're such a patient team. And man, if you aren't on your game, it's going to be torture. And that inning was just so classic, right? It comes from nothing. Drop third, strike to Horner, nobody on, 2 outs, right? And then the walk parade begins, and it was just grinds, though. They weren't obvious walks. A lot of hitters would have swung at some of those pitches. I thought the Morel AB was the turning point of the game. He showed his maturity there, going 0-2 to 4-2. We'll have to talk about him at some point if we get time, because he's such a unique player, with the swing and miss, the unbelievable offensive tools. If he can harness just a little bit of that patience, and it's controlled patience, it's not guessing, right? Like he's actually seeing these pitches. He's going to be a load to deal with offensively. I mean, he already is. Right. But just, it's the last couple of weeks, he's had some like 0-2 counts where he's delivered either a hit or a walk. I think last night he was down 0-2 when he hit that double in the right center. So that was really interesting, and it's been kind of fun to monitor his progress, because he's so raw. Dansby with a huge double there in the 9th. Candelario, big hit, and then Yan Gomes, professional hitter, comes up with a sac fly. we do have to mention Willie Harris with one of the worst sends I've ever seen in tonight's ball game. Took away a left on left Mike Talkman double.
It wasn't good. The relay man there that throws 97 to home.
Nobody thinks Talkman could hit left on left, and he almost put one in the stands again. But yeah, it was a good enough performance from the offense. You're not going to hit a bunch of home runs and score 15, 20 runs every single night.
Correct.
And to me, the story was Tyone fighting and just an absolute statement from the Cubs bullpen. Almost like they said with their pitching, hey, we didn't go get another reliever. Here's this.
Yeah, 46 runs in the 4 games. I understand the Morel to Baez comparisons, but the reason why it was never a thrill for me was because of that at bat that you mentioned, and really because of the walk rate.
Right.
I think it looks like he has predetermined swings.
Yes.
If I'm wrong, fine, but that's what it looks like to me.
I don't think you're wrong at all because you're engaged, dude. Oh, sorry.
But 0-2 to 4-2 is no easy task.
There's 7 million people watching right now.
I know. And Candelario was I mean, it's comical. He's 9 for 12 so far with the Cubs.
And not to be a Debbie Downer, but in that 9th inning when Boog was talking about like strikeout rates and stuff, like, can we just have a little sense of the moment and just paint a picture? The Chicago Cubs a couple of months ago were in dead last place or just barely ahead of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Under, yeah.
We were all miserable. I was having one of the worst summers of my 28-year career. And I was just totally devastated. And now here we are 2 months later. We got the best rental bat on the market. We're 2 games out. Wrigley Field, it's just the best atmosphere of the entire sport. And if you say I'm biased, just, exit out the show. It's fine.
That's because we are, yeah.
And he's sitting there talking about like strikeout rates.
There was a couple big moments where I have to admit I synced up the Odyssey app.
Oh, I got to start doing that.
With the TV call. It's worth being delayed 3 or 4 pitches.
Oh, I'd like to be delayed an hour.
I don't apologize for it.
But anyways, yeah, man, that was I called my dad after this game because those are the wins to me. You know me, Matt. I get excited. I pump the fists when they score a billion runs, but those are the games that playoff teams find a way. You didn't have that many hits. You didn't hit the ball out of the ballpark. You needed to miss some bats. Your bullpen did that. You needed a good enough start from your starting pitcher. You just find a way to win a tight ball game, and they did that. And I'm ecstatic.
Wait, I'm surprised. So wait, you squeezed in a phone call with your dad? Aren't those usually like 45-minute affairs?
They tend to be pretty long, but he's kind of like fatigued from the heat. So
okay,
I knew I'd get him for about 5-6 minutes. The last thing I'll say is, and I know we're going to talk about it later in the show, but I'm ready for the challenge this weekend. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, no, it's going to be good. So before we get to that, for the last week or two, I'm
pumped.
Checking playoff percentages.
Yeah, flash something up.
Fangraphs likes the Cubs, but Baseball Reference loves the Cubs. And Marquee put up a graphic on their broadcast. I mentioned it the other day on the show. And I'll put up the overlay right now. So this is entering Thursday's action. So it's even better now. So take a look at that on Friday morning. But the left column is postseason percentage. The middle column is wild card. And the third is division. And as you can see there, the Cubs have more than a 1-in-2 chance to make the tournament. And Baseball Reference puts the Cubs, again, this is before Thursday's win, with the highest percentage to win the division.
That'll change. Like Thursday's win,
that's going to probably be closer to 50 Friday morning.
Yes.
So 55 to make the postseason and 42 to make it by division, but probably closer to 50 after this win. So the computers, which Jed Hoyer told 670 The Score today, he looks at every morning. He has 4 or 5 websites he says he looks at, plus their internal IV system, which is titled IV. So guess what? I'm going to start doing that. Every morning, I'm going to look at the 4 or 5 sites, Baseball Reference, Baseball Prospectus, Fangraphs. And I like doing that because it supports what we've had a theory about for a while, that this team has the pieces to potentially do it. They were failing for a long while, and now the percentages are coming more back into their favor after this great run.
And will you be like looking at those websites with a coffee or a Mountain Dew or what type of caffeinated beverage?
I hit the caffeine about noon.
Oh, okay.
I've been really good in the mornings with water. I might be the only teacher in the country that doesn't drink caffeine in the morning, but once noon hits, I'm done for.
Right. Okay, great. So. Anyway, no, that was a great win, Matt. And that was when I was watching that game, when it got, I tweeted out, I only had about, I would say 65 to 70 tweets during this affair. And, when it got to be the 8th inning, I tweeted something like, I am so nervous and I love it. Like it's that vibe again. I didn't really feeling. I didn't have the feeling like that in 20 because of, all the circumstances. Right. It's the first time really in 5 years where, the palms start to sweat a little bit. I'm alone in my apartment, and I'm screaming, and I have some, I have neighbors with young children, and I feel bad. I'm pacing, and they know, now they've asked me, and I'm like, yeah, it's the Cubs, so they know what's going on.
So they hear you for sure.
The building across hears me. And you start to perspire a bit.
Yeah, no, but this is what we asked for.
No, this is what I begged for. This is what I live for. This is what I live for.
Right.
I'm going to have to figure out a way Friday at 1:20 to find a way to just take in all 27 outs of this, because the professor.
What is your plan for that?
Well, my job's my plan, and
so you're going to get the game tracker for a bit.
I think I'll be by a TV. And if not, I'll just bring I'll figure something out.
Or a ham radio or something.
Yeah, well, I may ask Pat to take me all the way through.
Right. All right, coming up next, Cubs play the best team in the sport. We preview that right after this. Today's episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. For a championship team, it's all about making sure every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head to eBay Motors. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can be sure every part you need fits right the first time around. Just add your ride to the My Garage and look for the green check to know the part will fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop on eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers, eligible items only. Exclusions apply. The Cubs play the Braves at 1:20 p.m. Central Friday, and you can listen to every pitch with the Cubs hometown broadcast on SiriusXM. On the SXM app, search Cubs or tune in to channel 844 and catch the Cubs all season long on SiriusXM. Cubs play 3 games this weekend against the Atlanta Braves, who are the best team in baseball at 69-37. That's a 103 win pace. All 3 matchups at 120, and they are as follows. Hendricks and Fried, who's returning from a long injury. TBD and Elder and Steele and Morton. Wisniewski and or Assad likely on
maybe
Saturday.
Maybe both.
Yeah, I would like to see that. Yeah. I would like to see that.
Look, it's one of those series that you go in, if you tell me they win 1, I'm not, you can't get swept. Can't get swept.
1 out of 3 sounds good.
But let me tell you something. They're not going to go down easy. They're locked in right now. It's unfortunate. I thought they were going to get to face Smith, whatever his name is, Smith Sharver or whoever he is.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because that was before I didn't realize they were going to decide to bring Fried back on Friday. Because the Braves do have 2 starters that you could get to, Chirinos and Smith, whatever, Schwarber, whatever his name is. And
the prospect pitcher. Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt the Cubs, with the way they're hitting, would have been able to really get after him. But unfortunately, they drew 3 of their 4 best guys. They missed Strider. But, who knows? Coming off of an injury, I mean, that could be like a 70-pitch situation for Fried. Kyle's going to have his work cut out for him. I haven't looked at the weather tomorrow. I'm guessing it's going to be hot again.
Yep.
So it's going to be – I remember Kyle had an outing against the Braves a couple of years ago.
Okay, let's hear about it.
I think he gave up like 6 homers.
Okay, never mind then.
So it's going to be tough, but he's found a way to hang in there a lot this year. Saturday, I'm fine with just throwing Wisniewski and Assad, seeing what you could do. They've never seen either of those guys. Maybe you could catch lightning in a bottle. And then Sunday, Justin Steele.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's going to be – and you'll be at that, I believe.
Yeah, with my dad.
I might meet you there and go by myself.
Please do.
I might have to get there for that.
We could talk about it after, but that would be great.
Are you set? Well, we can talk about off the air. We don't have to.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, forget.
I'll just say this: the 300 level is a good spot.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I just might walk.
See the whole field.
And listen, they're the best team in the league by a wide margin. Why are they the best team in the wide margin? Well, the number 1 and number 2 MVP candidates hitting their lineup, Ronald Acuna and Matt Olson. So
it's close, by the way.
Whenever you have the 2 best players in the league, you're going to be a pretty good team. Then then Riley hits, Albies hits, Harris hits, they all hit. Yeah, Murphy hits. And then they pitch. So when you're really good at both those things, you're pretty good. But let me tell you something. The Cubs are dang good too. So
let's go.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Real quick, Matt, before we we have some banter, I want to give a quick shout out to one of our everydayers. My cousin Scott Tyler has his first ever solo album coming out tomorrow. Everything Short of a Miracle. Get it on Bandcamp. If you're into music, you'll be into him. He listens. I don't think he's missed one show, dude.
Did he listen to our old show?
He listened to every single thing I've done. He's taken in every second of it. And that's, says a lot about him, and not in a good way. So
Scott, I appreciate your support.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm going to check that out on Friday.
Yeah, you should check it out while you're kind of watching the game tomorrow.
Yes, I will do that.
Especially if you're listening to the TV broadcast, because, it's better than Boog talking about, the average percentage of, something we don't care about in the 5th inning of a tie game.
Yeah, I could still watch the TV feed and just have Scott's album on the audio.
580. Right, we hit 600 today, Matt. We hit 600. How many guys in baseball have hit 600 home runs? Sosa, Bonds, Ruth, Pujols, A-Rod, Griffey. I mean, 600's a lot.
Yeah, shout out to everybody that was with us. What a fun time. This is what we signed up for. It's not always this way. It was quite a journey to get here, but it sure pays off that the Cubs are winning. It's a whole lot of fun.
Mays. 660.
And if you are new here, we do a show Monday through Friday on the Cubs, Locked On Cubs.
Real quick before we bounce out of here.
No, go ahead.
I've been playing, I play the Immaculate Grid every day.
Oh, yeah. How's that going?
I happen to be quite good at it, obviously, because I have no friends. And when the Cubs were struggling, I thought it was going to be such a fun idea to do a grid live on air for us. And we could
that'd be good.
And we could we could just do like Cubs players, because like I could probably get like 7, 8, or 9. But that was when I thought we were going to have nothing to talk about.
Correct. That's not a segment anymore.
There's no time for that. You know what?
We're not doing a segment on that anymore.
We're not doing any segment on anything. We're doing a segment on finding a way to play a baseball game on October 22nd.
Here's a segment for Monday: how the Cubs got out Acuna and Olson.
Yeah, I won 2 out of 3 against the 27 Yankees with Ruth and Garrett. I mean, jeez.
Cubs 56 and 53. Once again, 2.5 out of first in the NL Central and 2 out of the third wild card spot. Shout out to the everydayers who are with us all 5 episodes throughout the week, and you can become an everydayer by checking us out each and every weekday. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for Locked On Cubs on YouTube. Let's see if we got to 5,000, if I may. And please spam the like button on the way out. If you haven't pressed the like button, please do that. For the algorithm isn't just fodder. That's real. We're about 20 away, it looks like, Sam. Less than 20.
20 away. That should be taken care of before first pitch.
I think so. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts on the audio side and streaming on Sirius XM. What a fun show. What a fun time right now for the Cubs. Let's see how they do against the Braves this weekend. We'll be back with you.
Enjoy the ride.
Monday. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.